I flash married a guy I met on a blind date. After the wedding, he was completely indifferent to my deliberate attempts to seduce him, yet I caught him red-handed at school, getting cozy with some beauty. Well. So you have two faces, huh? When I angrily hired a male model and started a rumor with my bestie that he couldn't perform, he caught me in the act. That night, he tossed and turned me around. He used one night's performance to prove that he was very capable. The next day, my secret identity was accidentally exposed, and he dragged me into reenacting scenes from my own book. Rubbing my aching back, I downed 3 shots as self-punishment for my recklessness. Mom, seriously, stop setting me up on blind dates. I'm not looking to get married right now. I need to focus on my career. Career? What career? Aren't you just freeloading at home? Freeloading? I'm a writer. I retorted. A writer? Let me see something you've written then. My mom scoffed. I deflated instantly. Well, erotica is still literature, right? My mom kept nagging. Mary next door has a grandchild this year. You don't even have a boyfriend. My mom is great, except for her obsession with comparing me to others, especially Mary. When Mary's son got married, my mom was more anxious than anyone, frantically arranging blind dates for me. Unfortunately, those blind dates were all so. Blind date 1, the matchmaker said his career was just starting. In reality, he had no house, no car, and sold little toys at a street stall. Blind date 2, described as good-looking, 5'11", and athletic. In reality, he was my height, his favorite sport was mahjong, and as for good-looking, well, I could tell he was human. Oh, I'm 5'5". Those 2 were okay, a little self-embellishment is understandable. But the third one was ridiculous, pure fraud. Blind date 3, the matchmaker said he had a stable government job. My mom was thrilled and rushed me to go. Turns out, the guy didn't show up, his mother did. Turns out, he'd committed a crime and was doing time in prison. How is that not a stable job, huh? Even after countless disastrous blind dates, my mom remained undeterred. The topic circled back to Mary's grandchild. Seeing my mom's expectant face, I couldn't bear it. How about I ask Mary if you can babysit her grandson for a few days? The consequence of enraging my mom was being kicked out of the house with an ultimatum: no blind date, no coming back. She's my mom. What could I do? Off I went, to witness the diversity of the species. When I arrived at the coffee shop, only a few tables were occupied. My eyes scanned the room like a radar, searching for potential blind dates. Table 1 had 2 girls, table 3 had a few students in school uniforms, eliminated. That left the finance bro with glasses type at table 4. He was the kind that grows on you, but I really didn't have the patience. I mean, what kind of decent blind date could this matchmaker find? At least I hadn't wasted my makeup. Just as I was about to walk towards Mr. Finance bro, a truly stunning sight caught my eye out of the corner of my vision. The newcomer was impeccably dressed. A simple white shirt, top button undone, collar slightly open. The shirt sleeves were neatly rolled up to his forearms. He wore gold-rimmed glasses and had a handsome, refined face. A total dreamboat. Are you Nina? Huh? Me? After a second or two of stunning, I shook the man's hand. I am. And you are? Lucas, your blind date. No? My brain short-circuited. I think the matchmaker went down the wrong path. This guy was top tier, and she hadn't even bothered to hype him up, unlike all the other duds she described in glowing terms. I ordered a vanilla latte. Life is bitter enough, what's wrong with a little sweetness? What do you do for work? College professor. And you, Nina? Yikes, hold on. Suddenly, my job feels a little unimpressive. I write novels, I laughed awkwardly, hoping to change the subject quickly. Lucas held his cup with both hands, his eyes sparkling. A writer. That sounds very flexible. Well, what can I say, Lucas? You've got taste. His next words almost made me bite my tongue off. What kind of things do you write, Nina? I'd love to read some of your work, find some common ground. My tongue was practically bleeding, but I had to maintain a calm expression. Romance, just romance. You probably wouldn't be interested. Seriously, I write erotica. What common ground are we gonna find? This was definitely a no-go. Such a rare, high-quality blind date, and I'd blown it. Unexpectedly, Lucas pushed a thick file folder across the table to me. Inside were his property deeds, diplomas, bank cards, and so on. I skimmed through it and even saw a birth certificate, Lucas, male, born May 9, 1996. Nina, will you marry me? Lucas and I registered our marriage. To sum it up in one phrase, muddled, clueless, dazed, and confused. Lucas's parents never interfered with his decisions, so they nodded in agreement when he told them he was marrying me. And they quietly transferred several properties into my name. Seriously, insanely rich. My mom was grinning from ear to ear. God knows, she'd won this round against Mary spectacularly. My dad was teary-eyed. His precious daughter, raised so carefully, was getting married just like that. Lucas sat next to my dad, repeatedly assuring him he'd take good care of me, but judging by my dad's expression, he wasn't going to feel better anytime soon. While Lucas was with our parents, I slipped out to the balcony to take a call. Nina, are you seriously marrying a guy you've only met once? My best friend, Sophia, sounded shocked on the phone. Surprising, right? But Lucas is great. Good family, good job, handsome. No matter how you look at it, he's the one getting the short end of the stick. I twirled a strand of hair around my finger, my mind elsewhere. Well, you better keep a close eye on your Professor Lucas. We met on a blind date. We're just partners in life, you know? If it really doesn't work out, we'll just go our separate ways. Lucas happened to pass by the balcony just then and heard go our separate ways. His hands slowly tightened into a fist, fingers squeezing together as if by an invisible force, knuckles turning white. I moved into Lucas's place, a large apartment in a luxury downtown complex with huge floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city's nightscape. I turned around, about to say something to Lucas, and saw him walk out of the bathroom. Freshly showered, hair still dripping, his robe tied neatly, revealing a pair of long, well-muscled calves. The male form is truly tempting. Even though he wasn't showing any skin, my profession gives me a vivid imagination. We didn't sleep together. The excuse was to cultivate feelings first. I told Sophia about this. She took a sip of her bubble tea, looking at me like, I really don't get you. Seriously? You two are, like, collectively over 50. Are you really doing the whole, marry first, love later thing? We barely know each other. Sleeping together would be too awkward. Sophia grinned at me. That grin didn't look entirely innocent. If you're not sleeping together, at least get some eye candy out of it. Does your Professor Lucas have abs? Is his butt firm? Sure enough, nothing sensible ever came out of her mouth. Seeing my whatever expression, she got antsy. I'm just looking out for you. Remember how you were struggling with writer's block? People say you haven't tasted the good stuff, and you really haven't. What kind of author only uses chocolate bar to describe abs? How about? Sophia paused, seemingly pondering something. Suddenly, her eyes lit up. I knew it, she was about to drop a bomb. Have your Professor Lucas model for you. Once you see the real deal, the steamy scenes you write will be muffled sounds. I quickly clapped my hand over her mouth. Oh my God, just stop. Who can argue with you? She's the one talking, I'm the only one who's going to die of embarrassment. I must be crazy. I was actually considering Sophia's suggestion. Hearing the front door open, I looked up and met Lucas's eyes. He nodded at me, then put down his briefcase and went to shower. After heating up the food and bringing it to the table, instead of going back to my room or sitting on the sofa as usual, I chose to sit opposite Lucas. A flicker of surprise crossed Lucas's eyes, quickly masked. Is something wrong? I took a bowl, ladled some soup for him, and then smiled sweetly. Yeah, it's not a big deal. It's just that I've hit a bit of a writer's block lately, and I need your help with. Lucas looked up at me, a slight smile playing on his lips. What can I do for you? It's just, the male anatomy, you know. My eyes darted around. Help, I really couldn't say it. Who just casually asks to see someone's abs? Lucas watched my hemming and hawing, trying not to laugh. Then he said seriously, if you don't tell me, how can I help you? Can I see your abs? I blurted it out, bracing myself. If I die, I die. Even though I write erotica, I have to search online for material even for kissing scenes. Heh, just an innocent erotica writer here. Certainly. Happy to oblige. A living saint. A modern-day saint. I watched as Lucas slowly let his robe slide down to his waist, revealing a lean, muscular torso. Perfectly sculpted shoulders, firm pecs, a narrow waist, and abs that were sexy and defined. I blushed furiously, my brain repeatedly telling me to just look, don't touch, don't push my luck. Is this okay? Lucas's voice was low, a little husky. I nodded quickly. Yes, more than okay. After saying goodnight to Lucas, I opened up my writing platform and cranked out 8,000 words in one go, leaving a horde of readers begging for more in the comments. Author, we're starving. More? I could eat another billion bowls. This is making my heart race. Damn girl, let me star in a couple of episodes. Help me, help me, help me. I'm known as the purest maiden in my village, they even built me a chastity arch. I open my phone and see this kind of story. How am I supposed to face people anymore? Now, who's going to say I haven't tasted the good stuff? I replied to a few comments, closed the comments section, and left, satisfied. Married life with Lucas was pretty calm. He worked during the day and often worked late at home. My work was flexible, so I either went shopping with Sophia or slept in. One day, I was lying in bed when I heard the door open. I thought Lucas had forgotten something and come back. The next second, my bedroom door burst open. It wasn't Lucas. It was Lucas's mom, and behind her was my mom. Nina, what time is it? Still not up? It's one thing to be like this at home, but you're married now. I don't nag you about not working or not cooking, but you have to eat, right? Honestly, you. I sat with my fists on my knees, head bowed, listening to my mom's lecture. So, you two have been sleeping in separate rooms all this time? Lucas's mom pushed up her glasses. I saw a white glint flash across the lenses. Understandable, right? Just like when Conan says, there is only one truth. She'd found the crucial point. My mom heard this and was about to explode. Just as she was about to ask me what was going on, Lucas's mom interrupted. I don't think this is Nina's fault. Auntie, you're so right. It must be Lucas who's making Nina hesitant. Auntie. I thought I should say a few words in Lucas's defense. It wasn't fair to let him take the blame just because he wasn't there. But as soon as the words left my mouth, I knew I'd made a mistake. Both ladies stared at me. Mom. I quickly corrected myself. Lucas is very good to me. It's just that I'm not quite used to it, so I asked for separate rooms. But we're working on our relationship. As I watched the two moms move Lucas's things into my room, I knew they weren't buying it. Indeed, Lucas and I were legally married, a couple. It was perfectly natural for us to sleep together. But then again, two people who barely knew each other, sharing the same bed. Just thinking about sharing a bed with him made my face flush. While you're young and recover quickly, you two should hurry up and have a baby. I can even help you take care of it. My mom urged, while Lucas's mom nodded in agreement beside her. I was groaning inwardly and quietly texted Lucas. Your mom and my mom are doing a surprise inspection. Are you coming back? I can't handle this alone. Lucas had just submitted his experiment data when he saw the text notification. Okay, I'll be right back. I'll handle it. When Lucas returned, he saw me sitting on the sofa like a frightened quail. All his belongings had already been moved into Nina's room. Nina tugged at his sleeve, looking at him pitifully. A wave of tenderness washed over Lucas. Lucas sat down beside me and looked at me. Then he squeezed my hand reassuringly. Mom, what's all this? You're newlyweds. There's no reason to sleep in separate beds. You're busy with work during the day and can't spend time with Nina. If you're separate at night too, how will your relationship grow? Lucas said gently, Nina and I just got married. We need time to get used to each other. This is how you get used to each other. Before marriage, they push you to get married. After marriage, they push you to have kids. Is this an inevitable part of life? The outcome of this battle was that Lucas and I ended up sleeping in the same bed. My heart was pounding. All the steamy scenarios I'd ever written suddenly flooded my brain. If he tried to do something to me later, should I resist? Probably not, right? We're husband and wife. Besides, Lucas doesn't seem like the type to force me. But what if he was? If we kissed, should I keep my eyes open or closed? Better close them, opening them would be too embarrassing. When he comes in, should I lie facing him or with my back to him? I tossed and turned in bed, my mind racing, listening to the continuous sound of water from the bathroom. Thinking about it, I eventually thought myself to sleep. When Lucas opened the door, this was the scene he saw. The woman was lying on her side, legs tangled in the quilt, fast asleep. Her nightgown had ridden up to her thighs due to her posture, revealing long, fair legs. So much white skin, it was dazzling. Lucas's throat moved. He leaned over, gently pulled the quilt out, and covered the woman properly. Then he lifted the other side of the quilt and slipped in. Lucas's movements were quiet, but with another person in the bed, I groggily woke up. Lucas? I was being very careful. Did I still wake you? Lucas's voice was soft, tinged with apology. Remembering that I was now lying in the same bed as my nominal husband, I instantly felt my limbs go rigid. So quiet, I could hear our breathing. We're just sleeping, okay? Separately. You get that, right? Even though you're my husband, I'm not ready yet. Lucas chuckled. Don't worry, I won't do anything to you. It's late, get some rest. With that, Lucas turned his back to me, and I turned my back to him as well. What a strange feeling. I buried my head in the covers. Lucas and I used the same shower gel, we smelled the same. We were lying in the same bed, close enough to touch. I don't know how long it was before I drifted off to sleep again. Hearing the woman's breathing beside him become light and even, Lucas carefully turned over. Just as he was about to close his eyes and force himself to sleep, the woman rolled over and right into his arms. He was surprised, but she was sound asleep, one leg constantly trying to drape over his. Lucas took a deep breath, didn't push her away, and instead, wrapped his long arm around her, pulling her into his embrace. A delicate, sweet scent filled his nostrils. He closed his eyes and fell into a deep sleep. When I woke up in Lucas's arms, my mind was still a bit foggy. I only felt that this embrace was exceptionally warm and reassuring. Feeling the restraint around my waist, I fully woke up. I was completely bewildered. How did I end up plastered against him while sleeping? I didn't suspect Lucas at all, because his position hadn't changed. I was the one who had rolled across most of the bed. I carefully tried to pry Lucas's hand away. He looked at me, eyes sleepy, seemingly unfazed. He closed his eyes again, and the hand around my waist tightened, pulling me back into his embrace. I felt like all the blood in my body was boiling. I didn't dare move. After a long while, Lucas seemed to realize something and let me go. Sorry, I was. Lucas was about to explain, but I quickly cut him off. It's okay, I understand. The bed's only so big, it's bound to happen, ha ha ha. Hearing this, Lucas looked at me, his eyes holding an unreadable emotion. Ever since Lucas and I started sleeping in the same bed, no matter how far apart we were the night before, I always woke up in his arms the next morning. From being a little awkward at first, we both seemed to have gotten used to it. I even started pulling Lucas into lazing in bed with me. Lucas leaned against the headboard, one hand cushioning the woman's head, the other scrolling through experiment data on his laptop. Noticing I was awake, Lucas gently ruffled my hair, his eyes filled with an emotion I'd never seen before. Awake? Hearing Lucas's low, pleasant voice, tinged with a hint of laughter, I snuggled my head into his chest. I have the day off today. Want to go see a dance performance? Hearing this, I looked at Lucas suspiciously. I saw your social media post. I happen to have 2 tickets. Want to go? I practically wanted to swear brotherhood with Lucas on the spot. You get up first, I'll go make breakfast. After Lucas left, I lay in bed for a while, my mind blank. We had gotten much closer these past few days. I wasn't that dramatic, I knew what marriage meant. But getting intimate with a stranger, anyone would feel uncomfortable, right? Lucas was willing to take things slow with me, and I felt something quietly sprouting in my heart. I was going to see a dance performance with Lucas later. Come to think of it, this was our first official date. I put on some light, natural makeup and pulled a new white dress from my closet. I looked in the mirror. Wasn't this the epitome of a pure, innocent girl? It would perfectly match Lucas's gentle and calm demeanor. I stood in front of Lucas. He extended his arm, and I hesitated for a moment before linking my arm through his. All right, he saw me, but there was no eyes lighting up moment. I felt a tiny bit disappointed. Just a tiny bit. Lucas was a skilled cook. The food looked, smelled, and tasted amazing. Every dish on the table beckoned me, tempting me to try it. Eating such delicious food was incredibly satisfying, every bite was a taste of heaven. Lucas looked at Nina, who was now full, patting her stomach, his eyes full of amusement. The dance performance was stunning. The lighting and music, combined with the actors' performances, pushed the atmosphere to one climax after another. It made me cry. I'm just a natural crybaby, can't help it. When Lucas handed me a tissue, I turned my head, my eyes blurry with tears, and looked at him. Don't cry, it's okay. He sighed and used the tissue to wipe away my tears. After the show, Lucas held my hand and asked if I wanted to see fireworks. His palm was broad and warm, the gentle heat wrapping around my cold fingertips. My heart couldn't help but beat faster. Okay. Lucas and I walked hand in hand to the park. With a few dull thuds, one firework after another shot up into the sky, trailing fiery red tails. A few crisp cracks, and the night sky tore open, blooming with vibrant flowers. More people gradually gathered around, elderly couples strolling, young couples on dates, and children playing. Accompanied by the roar of the fireworks, the air around us came alive. I looked at Lucas, and he looked down at me. Our eyes met, and Lucas leaned down and kissed me. He tested the waters cautiously, finally pecking lightly at the corner of my lips. My thoughts scattered in an instant, my heart pounding like a drum. That tentative kiss that day didn't seem to change anything. I still woke up in his arms, but our progress seemed to have stalled. I rested my head on the table, staring at the amber liquid in my glass. What do you think he means? He kisses me and then acts like it didn't happen? Sophia burst out laughing. He throws a basic punch, and you're ready to unleash your ultimate move. Weren't you so adamant before about going your separate ways? Now it's just a kiss, and look at you. You've fallen for him, haven't you? I ignored Sophia's teasing. Are you really that bothered? Have you really fallen for him? I recalled my interactions with Lucas. He would ask about my preferences, bring back a bouquet of my favorite flowers when passing a flower shop on his way home from work, the comforting embrace that lulled me to sleep every night, and that kiss under the dazzling fireworks. Seeing me like this, Sophia understood. You're into him. I lowered my head, my fingers unconsciously twisting together. Want to take it further? I nodded. Of course, I did. Lucas is so handsome. Getting with him is a win. Don't worry, sis, I'll set it up for you. Seeing Sophia's confident look, I inexplicably agreed. The next day, I received a package from Sophia. I opened it, and my face turned red from my hair to my toes. This. I pinched the thin fabric with 2 fingers. Fiery red, lace trim at the chest, crisscross lacing at the back. I gestured shamefully in front of the mirror and quickly stuffed it into the quilt. Short, thin. It looked like any movement would cause a wardrobe malfunction. Sophia's call came through. Got the stuff, right? Satisfied? She was laughing suggestively on the other end. You want me to wear this in front of Lucas? Is this even wearable? Are you trying to be a prude? You write so much smut, and now you're going to play innocent with your own husband? Please, I write based entirely on imagination. My practical experience is 0. Girl, trust me, I spent all night picking out this battle lingerie for you. You have such a hot body. Put this on, and Professor Lucas will definitely be worshipping at your feet. You're married, not having an illicit affair. Just think of it as adding a little spice to your otherwise bland married life. What are you afraid of? Just close your eyes and go for it. After hanging up, I pulled the nightgown out from under the covers. Do I really have to wear it? Wear it for Lucas to see. Maybe. Just try it. When Lucas got home from work, this was the scene that greeted him. The woman's dark hair cascaded like a waterfall. The flimsy slip dress outlined her beautiful curves, the red color making her skin appear even fairer. Her ample bust was partially concealed, and her long, slender legs were bare. Her eyes sparkled, full of affection. Her unadorned face was flushed red from shyness, making her look absolutely delectable. Honey, you're home. I purred, accidentally letting a strap slip off my shoulder. Lucas's eyes burned with desire. Seeing the lust rolling in his eyes, I felt a little smug. Before I could be smug for more than a few seconds, a blanket was draped over me, wrapping me up tightly. I froze. What kind of plot twist was this? Nina, why don't you go to bed first? I still have work to do. Lucas carried me into the room, pulled the covers over my bare legs, and with one hand, hooked the intentionally slipped strap back into place. Seriously? Is Lucas a monk? He's not even moved by this? I messaged Sophia to report the battle outcome. Even Sophia was stunned. He's not even tempted by that? Is he? You know. Not good in bed? I rolled over, my fingers flying across my phone. No way. Maybe he prefers something more subtle. Determined to win Lucas over, Sophia sent me many sets of outfits. Sophisticated professional, innocent bunny, gentle campus style. Lucas remained unmoved. He even asked me if I was cold. When I didn't say anything, he picked up the AC remote and turned up the temperature. Later, I couldn't take it anymore. I straddled his lap, planning to force myself on him. I kissed Lucas's lips forcefully. Lacking experience, my teeth bumped against his lips, making him grunt, and then I tasted a hint of blood. I didn't care. I kissed him while trying to recall scenes from novels and movies. It looked easy, but doing it wasn't simple. Finally, he couldn't stand my clumsy kissing anymore and pushed me away. I looked at his now glistening lips and couldn't help but reach out to touch them. Lucas grabbed my hand. When he spoke, his voice was no longer clear and smooth but raspy, like sandpaper rubbing against my heart. So wild? Kissing isn't like that. Here, let me teach you. With that, he lifted my chin, and his thin lips pressed down. At first, it was a gentle licking kiss. Then, slowly, one hand held my chin, the other cradled the back of my head, gradually deepening the kiss. The gentle kiss transformed into an entanglement of lips and tongues. A strange tide surged through her, slowly devouring her senses. I went limp in Lucas's arms, only coming back to my senses after a long while. Feeling better? Lucas gently patted my back, helping me catch my breath. He was already aroused. I could feel something hard pressing against my backside. I felt a little smug. See, you're still captivated by me. Just as I was about to make another move, the next second, Lucas pulled my mischievous hand out from under his clothes. Lucas, you're already like this, why? I looked at the bulge in his pants that hadn't subsided. Nina, not yet. Why? We're married. Nina, just wait a little longer, okay? I'm so mad, so mad. He was clearly feeling it too. I grumbled. Sophia, learning about my repeated rejections from Lucas, wanted to laugh. And she did. Is he, you know, not good in bed? She nudged my arm and continued. Let me tell you, there's a saying, right? Apical dominance inhibits lateral bud growth. Some guys, they look tall, but it's like a big tree with tiny chili peppers. Seeing my silence, she feigned sympathy. Don't tell me you actually ran into one. What a waste of Professor Lucas's handsome face. Of course, I knew Lucas wasn't no good. That night, what pressed against my butt felt quite substantial. My damn bestie was still there, lecturing on how to tell if a man is capable, saying it's crucial to discover and treat it early while young. I quietly whispered to her about what happened that night. Sophia reacted like a startled monkey. Is he, like, asexual or something? That's pretty serious too. Let me tell you. Just shut up already, can't you see everyone's staring at us? I was about to go to lunch with Sophia when I got a call from my mom, asking me to bring some soup to Lucas. After saying goodbye to Sophia, I took the soup my mom had simmered and went to Lucas's university. I asked around and found Lucas's office. He wasn't there. Just as I was holding my phone, wondering whether to text him, a passing teacher looked at me, then at the thermos in my hand. Are you Professor Lucas's wife? He's been in the lab lately. You can find him there. Thank you so much. No problem. No wonder Professor Lucas keeps you hidden at home and won't let us meet you. You're really beautiful. I thanked the teacher and headed in the direction she pointed for the lab. When Lucas sees me, will he be surprised? He should be happy, right? Thinking about seeing Lucas soon, my heart felt warm. From a distance, I saw Lucas in a camel-colored trench coat, standing under a sycamore tree, constantly checking his watch, as if waiting for someone. I bit my lip, about to quicken my pace towards him, when a beautiful woman with long, wavy hair waved at Lucas. Lucas lowered his watch-wearing hand, smiled at the approaching woman, and then the two of them walked side by side. Was he waiting for this woman? I followed behind, wanting to find out what was going on. The two of them were talking and laughing, looking like they had a very good relationship. Watching from behind, the earlier joy in my heart vanished, my gaze unconsciously settling on his interaction with the other woman. I clenched my fists, trying to hide the sourness in my heart. That new Professor Quinn and Professor Lucas are pretty close. Spill the tea. My advisor mentioned it during dinner a few days ago. Said they've known each other for a long time. I've seen them eating together in the cafeteria many times, and Professor Quinn even put food on his plate. OMG. For real? Of course, it's real. My boyfriend saw Professor Lucas and Professor Quinn together after class, near the office. Professor Lucas said something, and Professor Quinn even playfully hit him. He told me himself. He also said Professor Lucas's smile was so doting. They look so good together, handsome guy, beautiful girl. I ship them. Ha ha ha, shipping everything just keeps your diet balanced. Sigh, I want a love like that before I die. 2 girls walked past me, gossiping. My heart sank, but my feet kept moving. I told myself over and over, Nina, get a grip, seeing is believing. Lucas and I are married, we're tied together on one marriage certificate. We need to have trust. But when I saw Lucas and that woman being so close with my own eyes, the confidence I had just built up instantly crumbled. I watched as the woman looked up and said something to Lucas. Lucas kept his head tilted, listening, a smile never leaving his lips. She even helped Lucas straighten his clothes, and Lucas didn't object. I felt a sharp prick in my heart, a dense, spreading pain. I threw the soup I was holding into the trash and quickly walked away. When Sophia arrived, I was drinking, playing drinking games, and having a blast with a male model, completely forgetting my troubles. Sophia, come quick, have a drink. We were just waiting for you. What are you doing? You're married. Remember your status as a married woman. Sophia, though usually not serious, definitely wouldn't watch her friend go astray. So what? His heart belongs to someone else, so I'm not allowed to find comfort elsewhere? You can only condemn me morally, you can't punish me legally. Life is all about 3 words. I told Sophia everything I saw today, blow by blow. Sophia was indignant. That Lucas. You can know a person's face, but not their heart. So what does that make you? A pawn in their game? Don't be angry, beautiful. My eyes are only for you. The handsome young man beside me cooed, pouring me a drink. Exactly, exactly. Those men just make you angry. I only care about you, beautiful. I provide the money, he provides the affection. We're all about companionship. My phone kept ringing. I was busy flirting with the model next to me, he was performing a magic trick for me, his fingers flying, and poof, a rose appeared. The phone was answered by the model next to me. Hello? Hearing the male voice on the phone, Lucas's brow furrowed instantly. Who is this? Let Nina answer the phone. I'm Ricky. What do you want with Nina? Get Nina on the phone, now. Lucas couldn't care less about composure or manners. He was gripping the phone so tightly that veins popped out on the back of his hand. He had just left the lab and bumped into a colleague who said he was lucky to have found such a beautiful and virtuous wife. He smiled. Virtuous, he hadn't seen yet. Beautiful, definitely. Professor Lucas, you're too secretive. If she hadn't come to school today, when were you planning to introduce her to everyone? Lucas sharply caught the key point in his colleague's words. You mean you saw my wife come to the school? The colleague looked bewildered. Yeah, I don't think I'm mistaken. I saw a woman standing outside your office, holding a thermos. I figured she was looking for you, so I even gave her directions to the lab. Professor Lucas, you didn't see her? Lucas hastily thanked his colleague and hurried towards his office. A glance to the side, and he saw a light pink ceramic container lying quietly in the trash can, shattered. Considering what his colleague said about the time, it must have been Nina. He dialed Nina's number. It rang for a long time, but a man answered. Lucas felt like a firecracker, and that man named Ricky was undoubtedly the lit fuse. Your phone, Nina. Ricky handed the phone to Nina. I was enjoying the pretty boy's magic trick and casually put the phone on speaker on the coffee table. Who is it? The woman's lazy voice came through the receiver. Lucas desperately suppressed the anger in his heart. Where are you? Who are you? What's it to you? I was so drunk I didn't even recognize the voice on the other end. It's Lucas. Nina, where are you? I looked at the phone screen. It really was Lucas. What was he yelling about? I hadn't gone looking for him, and now he was showing up on his own. I'm not telling you. Find me yourself if you can. Then I hung up, giving him no chance. Nina, who was that? So aggressive. Must be some ugly loser whose life sucks. Exactly, exactly. Nina is so beautiful. Nina's good, he yells, he's bad. Sophia, listening, let out a sharp shriek. He's not ugly, he's super handsome. If he were in your line of work, he'd definitely be a top earner. What's the use of being handsome? He's practically asexual. A man, if he can't perform in that department, no matter how handsome, he's useless. The private room door slammed open with a loud bang, startling me. Lucas stood at the doorway, his face dark and grim. When Lucas burst in, the two boys turned pale with fright. My darn bestie stood up and shielded me. Who are you trying to scare? Nina, she. Sophia's voice trailed off. Oh my God, this guy was terrifying. And Nina said he was gentle? Gentle my ass. What are you scaring others for? Are you in the right? I pulled Sophia aside and confronted Lucas. Lucas scanned the room, his gaze lingering on the alcohol on the table before settling on the huddled male models. His eyes narrowed dangerously. Having quite a bit of fun, are we? What's wrong with having fun? I like it. What's it to you? Weren't you just getting cozy with another woman? Let me tell you, don't think that just because we're married, you can control me. Mind your own business. I retorted defiantly. Lucas heard the key words, another woman, getting cozy. She really did see. I looked at Lucas. He said nothing, just sighed. No? What did that mean? No denial, so he admitted it? Admitted he was involved with someone else? I fought back the stinging in my eyes and spoke coldly. If you understand, you can leave now, right? Come on, let's continue. I stopped looking at him and continued drinking. Sophia sat beside me, unsure whether to drink or not. The two young men looked at each other, then nudged each other and left the private room. Nina, come home with me. I can explain. Lucas reached out to take my hand, but I sidestepped his touch. Explain then. Right here, right now. There are no outsiders here. I tilted my head up to look at him. Is it this woman? He took out his phone, fiddled with it for a moment, found a photo, and showed it to me. What? A family photo? She's my cousin. My actual cousin. The kind you visit during holidays. Cousin? Well, damn. After all that drama, you're telling me it was a misunderstanding? I didn't dare look Lucas in the eye. What had I just done? Gotten drunk and played games with male models? When he called, I told him to mind his own business. In front of so many people, I said he was asexual? Said he couldn't perform? My body felt a little uncomfortable. Don't men care most about being told they can't perform? Lucas put his phone back in his pocket and looked at me with a half smile. So now, are you going to walk out with me, or am I going to carry you out? I looked at Sophia pleadingly. She received my distress signal, slung her bag over her shoulder, and said with a smile. I won't meddle in you two's affairs. Talk things out properly, don't fight. She made a swift exit, leaving me and Lucas staring at each other. Of course, I chose to go out with Lucas. He was silent, and I secretly observed his expression, feeling like it was the calm before the storm. As soon as we entered the house, I saw my chance and tried to dash into the room, but Lucas grabbed my arm and pulled me into his embrace. Now, care to explain what just happened? I struggled to break free from his embrace, but he tightened his arms. Due to inertia, we both tumbled onto the sofa. Lucas knelt on the sofa with one knee, his hands propped on either side of my body, staring at me in a way that made my hair stand on end. What are you doing? Don't mess around. This is a society ruled by law. If you dare to use domestic violence, I'll sue you. Why did you come and not tell me? I wanted to give you a surprise, who knew? And you're not entirely blameless either. Even if we take 10,000 steps back, are you completely without fault? You're jealous. Lucas's tone was certain. I felt like my secret had been exposed, and my voice unconsciously rose. Who's jealous? That's hilarious. How could I possibly be jealous? Anyone would be angry seeing that scene. I'm emphasizing again, I'm not jealous. I scrambled to cover up, but I didn't dare look at him. Drinking, hiring male models, and saying I'm asexual, that I can't perform? He looked down at me, an expression on his face that said, I'm just waiting to see how you'll spin this. His gaze made me increasingly nervous and guilty. So, I decided to lay my cards on the table, no more pretending. I practically stripped naked in front of you, and you still didn't flinch. If that's not being unable to perform, what is? Also, I think we shouldn't hide an illness for fear of treatment. Early treatment might offer a chance of recovery. Besides, Lucas leaned down and covered my chattering mouth with his. Unlike last time, he actually bit me. Ouch, what are you doing? I pushed him away in pain, gently touching the spot with my tongue. Sure enough, it was broken. Is Lucas part dog? You. Then he pounced on me again on the sofa. He gripped my chin, his tongue prying open my teeth, forcefully exploring within. One hand pressed against my waist, preventing any attempt to retreat. The gentleness was gone, replaced by raw release and possession. The ambiguous atmosphere affected me, and I closed my eyes and began to respond to him. Sensing I was no longer struggling, Lucas released his grip on my chin. His hand found mine, which had been anxiously twisting the hem of my skirt, and slowly slid from my arm to my palm. Then he pulled it above my head, lacing our fingers together. I lay on Lucas's chest, my face flushed and heart pounding. Lucas seemed no different from usual, but a certain part of him betrayed him. Lucas, you asked me to wait before. What were we waiting for? I poked Lucas's chin with my finger. He felt ticklish and grabbed my hand, playing with it in his. Before, I heard you on the phone saying we'd go our separate ways. I wanted to wait until you had feelings for me too before taking things further. 2. I sat up in disbelief, looking at Lucas. You didn't fall in love with me at first sight, did you? Lucas stretched out his arm, wrapped it around my neck, and pulled me back into his embrace. From his words, I learned that day wasn't our first meeting. He had seen me before, at that very coffee shop. According to Lucas's account, it went like this. The previous few blind dates, I had arranged them all at that coffee shop, and Lucas coincidentally happened to be there every time. He said the first time he saw someone who could still smile politely when faced with such bizarre blind dates, and even silently pay the bill after the other person left. He found it very interesting. I was stunned. That was it? Couldn't he have made up a reason like I was beautiful and he fell for me at first sight? Not happy. Sensing my displeasure, Lucas nuzzled my hair with his nose, then buried his head in the crook of my neck. I'm very happy, Nina. I didn't have to wait too long. Hearing this, I smiled. A warm current flowed through my heart, and I hugged him back. Want to take a shower? He suddenly asked me. Then I realized, I probably reeked of alcohol. I nodded. Lucas placed me on the sofa and got up. He went back to the room and picked out a dress from my closet. When I saw it, my whole face felt like it was on fire. It was the red battle lingerie Sophia had meticulously chosen for me. Is this okay? I want to take a good look this time. Was it my imagination, or did he emphasize the last two words? I blushed, took the dress from his hand, and, without looking up, fled into the bathroom, locking the door behind me. Lucas smiled and went into the guest bathroom. When I came out, wrapped in a towel, Lucas had already finished washing up and was leaning against the bed. I slowly moved towards the bed. Lucas suddenly reached out, and with a dizzying spin, I fell onto the bed, the towel dropping to the floor. I frantically covered my chest, my other hand trying to pull down the hiked-up skirt. Lucas was amused by my antics. He gently stroked my hair, asking unhurriedly. Weren't you quite bold before? Why so shy now? I closed my eyes, remembering all my previous attempts to seduce him, wishing I could find a hole to crawl into. Before was before. It's different now. Lucas placed my hand on his abdomen. I felt his firm abs, and my face turned even redder, my mind filled with sensual thoughts. It looks really good, but I wonder if it's firm. Before I could answer, his scorching kisses rained down on me. From my lips to my neck, then to my shoulders. I heard the sound of fabric tearing. I felt like a fish on a chopping block, at his mercy. The clothes fulfilled their mission and honorably sacrificed themselves. I was kissed until I was weak and pliant, my mind a complete blank, completely forgetting how to think, following his guidance into oblivion. His kisses swallowed all my sounds. I trembled uncontrollably, I couldn't ignore his presence. He cupped my face with one hand, his breath ragged, kissing me sometimes lightly, sometimes heavily. His other hand was locked around my waist, pressing me deeper, as if to merge me into his very bones. Am I asexual? Lucas's voice was gentle, but his actions were the opposite. I bit my lip and shook my head. Can I not perform? Here we go again. I really couldn't take it anymore. You can, I can't anymore, Lucas. I whispered, begging him for mercy, hoping he would be lenient. What he said next almost made me black out. Sweetheart, those outfits, I want to see you wear every single one. Only one wall lamp was on in the room. The dim yellow light filled the room, casting two silhouettes that were almost merged into one. A night of wild abandon made me sleep straight through to the next afternoon. Lucas called me many times in between, but I just waved him away, rolled over, and went back to sleep. He wasn't annoyed. He brought a pile of documents into the room, looking like he was planning to work in the bedroom. Nina, can I use your laptop? I left mine at school. Half my face was buried in the quilt. I mumbled an affirmative without even opening my eyes. Lucas placed my laptop on his lap and picked up a thick stack of materials with one hand. I slept for a while longer, then opened my eyes and looked at Lucas. He was scrolling through the screen with his hand, looking very focused, but the documents in his hand hadn't turned a single page. What are you looking at so intently? I spoke, my voice incredibly hoarse. I raised my hand, signaling Lucas to pass me a glass of water. Lucas understood, put down the documents, and handed me the water glass from the nightstand. I struggled to sit up. An unspeakable soreness radiated from my lower body. In my mind, I cursed a certain unrestrained man 10,000 times. Sweetheart, is this porny daily dose you? I sipped my water and casually replied. It's my pen name. What's up? The corner of Lucas's mouth twitched almost imperceptibly, his gaze darkening. This part about body lotion slightly emulsified, making the already smooth skin even more slippery, often hard to grip when thrusting, but also like a lubricant, allowing deeper penetration. I coughed violently, stopping Lucas from reading further. It finally dawned on me. He was reading my trashy little story. When he asked about my pen name earlier, I didn't think anything was wrong. OMG. My cover's blown. In front of my husband. And he read it out loud in front of me. Sweetheart, I think that part was written incorrectly. Why don't we correct it? I watched him take out the body lotion from the bathroom and walk towards me. My eyes screamed refusal. Yet he, feigning ignorance, waved the bottle of lotion at me. Oh well, life is short. What difference does it make when I die? My mom called to ask if Lucas had drunk the soup, saying there was more and if she should send some over. I looked at the shattered jar Lucas had retrieved from the trash, lost in thought. Seeing I didn't answer, my mom lowered her voice and said mysteriously. I added a lot of tonics to the soup. Lucas works so much overtime, it's good for him to have some nourishment. It's just that you'll have to suffer a bit. I instantly understood what kind of soup my mom had sent. I was incredibly grateful he hadn't drunk it, otherwise, I might not have seen the light of day today. I resentfully rubbed my lower back and said into the phone, "Mom, Lucas's body is perfectly fine. You'll get your grandkids, just you wait and see." Lucas heard and asked me what soup it was. I replied irritably, "It's a soup to boost your vitality. Mom specially made it for you and asked if you needed more." Lucas's lips curved slightly, and he looked at me meaningfully. "Sweetheart, don't you know best whether I need it or not?" Hearing such ambiguous words, and remembering all his actions last night, my face turned bright red. "Don't say it, don't say it. You're the one with the most say." "Ah, you're still saying it." I lunged at Lucas, trying to cover his mouth, to stop him from saying these embarrassing things. My actions played right into his hands. The man caught me easily, pressed me back onto the bed, and a lingering kiss landed on my body, while his warm hand slipped under my skirt, caressing my waist. It was too late for me to resist. "Lucas, you're such an animal." The more fiercely I cursed, the rougher Lucas's movements became. "I want a divorce." Even rougher. The continuous assault was too much for me to handle, and tears streamed down my face. The man finally showed some conscience, kissing away my tears one by one, and pulling my hands above my head to restrain them. His eyes never left mine, the affection and love in them threatening to overflow. Our four lips pressed tightly together, silencing all my sounds within his mouth. When I slowly regained consciousness again, it was already dusk. I was curled up on the sofa, wrapped in a thin blanket. My eyes inadvertently caught sight of two different colored bedsheets hanging on the balcony, gently fluttering in the evening breeze. Lucas was in the kitchen, baking me small cakes. The milky aroma filled the air. I was enveloped by this feeling called home, and my heart felt full. Night fell. Lucas and I snuggled on the sofa, watching a movie. The movie was called Flipped. Some of us get dipped in flat, some in satin, some in gloss. But every once in a while, you find someone who's iridescent, and when you do, nothing will ever compare. I think Lucas is the perfect answer to this quote. The first glance determines if you like someone, and every glance thereafter confirms if they're worth it. Epilogue. My name is Nick, and I'm 3 years old. My dad's name is Lucas, and he's a college professor. He's amazing. My mom's name is Nina, and she's a beautiful rich lady. Mom says she hopes I'll grow up to be like Dad. Honestly, I don't want to. I want to be a rich lady too. I think Mom is the most amazing because Dad always listens to Mom at home. Whatever Mom tells Dad to do, Dad does it. And when Dad is doing it, he always includes me, saying it's for me to learn and gain experience. But when it's bedtime, Dad doesn't listen to Mom. He's always on top of Mom. Mom wants me to sleep next to them, but Dad always says no. He says I'm a big boy now, old enough to be strong and independent, and it's time for me to sleep alone. Actually, I don't want to sleep next to them either. Mom's a terrible sleeper. Today, Dad took Mom out for a romantic getaway. I'm with Grandma and Grandpa. My other grandparents are here too. Grandpa and my other grandpa are going fishing, and they insisted on dragging me along. I don't want to. I looked at Grandma and my other grandma. But they seemed too busy looking at some auction on their phones and didn't get my distress signal. So I went fishing with Grandpa and the others. They sat me on a small stool. Told me to learn how to fish. And said that boys must learn how to fish. I don't understand. Why do boys have to know so many things? I just want to be a rich lady. They fell asleep. I looked at the little fish in my bucket. They were looking at me too, jumping up and down. I let them go home. Swim far away, quickly, or you'll get caught again. Today I met a little girl who was a bit bossy. Mom said she's my godmother's daughter. She forced me to play house with her. I refused. She plopped down on the floor and started crying. Mom told me to give in to her, that she's the younger sister. I was so annoyed by her pestering that I had no choice but to agree to play with her. She stopped crying instantly, her eyes sparkling at me, like they had stars in them. But why was she the dad, and I was the mom? Honey, I'm off to work. You be good at home, okay? She kissed my forehead. I stood there, holding our baby, stunned. You're supposed to say, come back soon. Silly big brother. Come back soon. At bedtime, Mom saw me hugging a strange little puppy stuffed animal. She wanted to take the slightly dirty toy away, but I held onto it tightly. This is me and little sister's baby. As the door closed, I heard Mom say to Dad, Honey, I think there's something wrong with our son. I closed my eyes, hugged the stuffed animal, and drifted off to sleep. Good night then, big brothers and sisters. I'll tell you another story next time.